Hi everybody. Today we are going to do our little activity book for May. This is one we're doing every month by request. So I'm a little closer to the beginning of the month than I was last time. Not quite at the beginning, but almost. So this is called Something to Do. It's a Puffin original from what did we say? I forget now. 40 something? Oh, 66. First came out in 1966. Alright, so it's mostly reading. They've got little activities, poems, crafts, games, cute little pen and ink illustrations. Really sweet. I usually start with a poem. This one's by Robert Browning. And after April, when May follows, and the white-throat bills and all the swallows, hark, where my blossomed pear tree in the hedge leans to the field and scatters on the clover blossoms and dewdrops. Going a May. Here's the May poem. May is the merry month. There have always been celebrations to welcome the summer. In the reign of Elizabeth I, on May Day, the village chose the May Queen. Then the boys and girls went a-maying. They gathered flowers, and to the music of the horn and tabor, they paraded through the streets, calling at each house to decorate it. Oh, that explains why, when I was a kid, we used to make little posies, flower in little baskets and hang them on our neighbors' doorknobs. I didn't know that. On the village green there was a maypole with multicolored ribbons hanging from it, and the children danced around holding these and plaiting them into patterns as they went. Sometimes there was a hobby horse, a brightly decorated canvas horse about 6 feet long, which was paraded through the town to the roll of drums. Maypoles are still put up on some village greens, and each year there is a parade at Minehead in Somerset, and also at Padstow, where the hobby horse wears a fantastic mask and is called an obbyhorse. In London on May Day, there is a parade of decorated horses in Hyde Park. So, the May bird is the swallow. The swallow is one of our best-known summer visitors and is seen most frequently between May and September. His slender build, long wings, and forked tail make it easily recognizable. It has a blue-black sheen on the upper parts, long tail feathers, white to buff underparts, chestnut forehead and throat, with a dark blue band below the throat. They're really handsome birds. We have, there's cliff swallows and barn swallows, at least here in this, in the western U.S. Really stunning flyers. I read that the Star Wars, the little ships, fighting ships in Star Wars were based on the flight of the swallows. Swallows spend a lot of time in flight as their main food is insects, caught as they fly. But they often settle on the telegraph wires, especially before their migration in the autumn, when hundreds of them can be seen gathered together. The swallow's nest is saucer-shaped, and made of pellets of mud and straw. It is generally in the rafters or on the beams in outhouses or sheds. The same bird may return to its nest for several years running. It lays 4 to 6 eggs between May and August. The eggs are white and narrow, spotted with brown. It has a twittering song when in flight and a rather high metallic tweet. The Mayflower is the hawthorn. Mark the fair blooming of the hawthorn tree, who, finely clothed in a robe of white, fills full the wanton eye with May's delight. Attributed to Chaucer. Tortoise, the May pet. A tortoise is a lovable pet that can fend for itself. When choosing one, make sure that his eyes are clear and that he is able to open his mouth. He should live in a garden with both sun and shade. It is best to have a fenced-off area with wire netting so that he can move about freely. Tortoises are vegetarians. They love lettuce, cabbage, dandelion leaves, chickweed, and clover. Some also like tomatoes, fruit, and bread. Sink a water saucer in the ground in the pen. In the warm weather, your tortoise will enjoy a bath in it. He will be ready to hibernate about October. He'll become sleepy and not want his food. Put him in a large box full of straw and keep it in a cold but not frosty room. About March, you'll hear him rustling and know he is awake again. Give him a little warm water in a teaspoon. Let him wander in a warm room. Tortoises grow up very tame. They will come out of their shells when called and enjoy having their heads stroked. I didn't know that they hibernated. Wow. Okay, out of doors. Country lore. You'll be out of doors most of the time from now on. Yeah, this was back in the day, before computers, before the internet. Here are some things to remember about enjoying the countryside. Shut farm gates if you find them shut, and leave them open if you find them open. Always climb over a gate at the hinge end. Keep your dog on a lead if you're anywhere near sheep or cattle. Do not leave bottles, tins, bags, or papers lying about. In other words, don't litter. Unless you have permission, do not light any fires. If you do light a fire, keep it clear of hay, straw, or trees. Pour water on it when you go away. Do not pull up wildflowers by the roots. Walk on the same side of the road as oncoming traffic. Wildflower collections. You will need a polyethylene bag, scissors, jam jar, water, newspaper or blotting paper, and adhesive tape. So you pick the wildflowers, put them in the bag, bring them home, and you can press them between blotting paper, put a heavy weight, and then when you've got the flat flowers, you can make flower pictures. You can make Christmas cards, pictures for doll houses, pictures just in little frames to hang up. It's a nice simple craft. Treehouse. how to make a treehouse. This is like 3 short paragraphs on making a treehouse. That seems like we need more instructions than that. Huh. All right. Everyone likes a secret place to escape to and play games or read on a summer's afternoon. If you have a garden with 4 trees growing close together and someone grown up to help you, it is possible to make a tree house. Okay. Daisy chains. I think we used to do that, maybe. Pick daisies with long stalks. Make a slit about a 1/2 inch in from the end of the stalk. Thread a daisy through the slit. Make a slit in its stalk and thread another daisy, continuing until you have made a chain as long as you want. And then the last one, you make a larger slit and you thread it over the head of the first daisy. You can't really tell, but basically makes a pretty chain of flowers. Garden bird map. So you make a little map of your yard. There's the house. They have a pretty large plot. Glass house, ash tree, fir tree, elm tree, pond, shrubs, and an oak tree. Watch the birds every day at the same time. Mark on the map which tree, post, or roof they sing from. I'm not sure. I wish they showed a completed one, but basically you can see what territory the different birds like in your yard. Things to make and do. Hobby horse. You will need a broom handle, 1 old sock, 2 buttons, a needle, cotton, small piece of cardboard, length of tape, string, thick wool, and rags or newspaper. Here's the pattern for the hobby horse. Gives very complete instructions here. Second project, decorate a doll's house. You will need paint, wallpaper, brush, knife, sandpaper, paste, material, tape, elastic, needle, cotton, carpet, linoleum, Christmas cards, drawing pins, and cotton wool. People often redecorate their houses in spring and may have some paint or paper left over. So basically this is about taking your existing dollhouse and decorating it with new wallpaper, painting, curtains, using your fabric for curtains, bedclothes, and for floors uses the carpet squares or the old pieces of linoleum. Pictures, that's where you can use an old postcard or Christmas card. Matchbox furniture. cradle, chest of drawers, table, and a bed. Finger painting. This is a lovely, messy thing to do. You can use the idea to make pictures for your dollhouse, or cards for birthdays, or even decorated wallpaper. You need flour, water, paint, this is coloring, I assume that means paint, spoon, linoleum, or brown paper. So you make a thick paste with water and flour. Oh, it's powdered paint, that's the coloring. So you probably everybody's done finger painting when they were kids, right? Paper houses. Paper houses. Try making a simple house from a single sheet of paper like the one in the diagram. When you have mastered the idea, you can try more elaborate buildings using the same method. So if you follow that, cut it out, and you can fold it to become that. Try making a small village with cottages of different sizes and a church. You can paint them. These kids must have been really resourceful because they're given very little instructions here. Bottle garden. Here's a bottle, a large balloon-shaped bottle. Put an inch layer of small washed pebbles at the bottom. And then some 3 to 4 inches of sterilized soil. And then you take little plants, they say begonias, Maynier fern, ones that like a lot of humidity, it says. And then it's like a terrarium, kind of like, just keep it moist. Comb pictures. I do not know what that is. Sheets of white paper, cardboard, scissors, poster paints, large paintbrush, cold water paste, and old saucers. Make your comb from stiff cardboard, about 8 inches by 2 inches. Cut out triangular wedges all the way along. Put some paste into a saucer and mix with color. Paint this over the sheet of paper with your big brush. Pull the comb over the paint paste. You will see you will have lighter lines left behind. Oh, I see. Okay. You can just basically, it's kind of like finger painting, but you're using a cardboard with cut out wedges to make different shapes and lines. A cute little clock you can make with a paper plate. The hands, I guess you can make out of cardboard or something. Covering a coat hanger. I actually have some old covered coat hangers. Well, I have a crocheted one. And I think there was maybe a velvet one. I don't know, I can't remember now, but might have been my grandmother's. I'm not sure. Cake, oh boy, maple cake. isn't. What is this? A sponge sandwich. I'm not sure what this is exactly. Colored wool. You need a sponge sandwich, butter, icing sugar, water, or orange juice or lemon juice, colored wool, knitting needle, jelly babies. I don't know what's going on here. They need a picture, definitely. A picture of this. Here's a jam tarts recipe. That sounds more like it. No wool in that. Flour, butter, margarine, salt, jam, pastry board, rolling pin, mixed bowl, pastry butter, tart. You know, the doughs are very basic to make. Usually it's flour, butter, and ice water. And then you can shape them and put jam inside. You can put fruits. You know, you can put chocolate, hazelnut. You can fill them with anything you want. Pineapple tops. Oh, this is sprouting the top of a pineapple. Broad beans grown in jam jars. That sounds like fun. Our summer reading library program this summer is going to have one of the weekly craft sort of projects will be growing beans actually in plastic, like Ziploc bags, little cotton balls that you keep moist, and then they'll sprout. Put them in a window. Outdoor gardening. Tulips were first brought into England in the 16th century by travelers from the Near East and Europe. If you have some in your garden, cut off the head as each flower dies. When all are dead, lift the bulbs out of the ground with the stem and leaves still attached. Store somewhere dry for the summer months. Allow the foliage to die naturally, as it will help build up the bulb before replanting in the autumn. Seeds you can sow in May are clarkia, candy tuft, cornflower, and nasturtium. Games to play. Here we come gathering nuts in May. This game can be played by boys and girls, indoor or outdoor. Children form two equal sides facing each other with a line drawn between them, or a handkerchief placed to show the center. One side joins hands and walks up to the center and back, singing, "Here we come gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May. Here we come gathering nuts in May on a cold and frosty morning." The other side then joins hands and walks up to the center and back, singing, "Whom will you have for nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May? Whom will you have for nuts in May on a cold and frosty morning?" Then the first side decides which member it will have from the opposite team, advancing and retreating again. Sing, "We'll have," let's just say Mary. "We'll have Mary for nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May. We'll have Mary for nuts in May on a cold and frosty morning." The other team then sings, "And who will you have to fetch her away? Fetch her away, fetch her away. Whom will you have to fetch her away on a cold and frosty morning?" So you can see this goes on and on. The two chosen members, okay, so each one steals somebody from the other team. The two chosen members then have a tug of war with a handkerchief on the floor between them. The loser is the one who is pulled over the dividing line and joins the winner's team. The game then begins again, this time the other side starting, and so on, alternating until one side has no players left, or until everyone is exhausted. That's pretty funny. Find the word. This sounds complicated. One player chooses a long word like disappointment and writes it down on a piece of paper and numbers each letter. Then he tells the other players how many letters the word has, so that they can make and number as many dashes on their paper. Then he gives clues so that the others can work out his word. Look carefully at a long word, and you will see it is often made up of other words. For example, disappointment can be made sad, in, men, pin, paint, etc. A few clues could be given the number of letters 8 and 9, the opposite of out. Players will then write in on their paper. Oh, I see. Okay. It's kind of like Hangman, a little bit. So you give a Alright, so then you start filling in the blanks. Okay, I could see that could be kind of a good indoor rainy day game. 5 stones. This sounds like a solitary game. If one day you have no companion, find 5 small pebbles and play 5 stones. It is one of the oldest games recorded. It was played by the Greeks, and you can play it anywhere. It is also called knucklebones, as 5 evenly matched bones were considered the best thing to use, but 5 small pebbles or shells of a similar size will do. It has many variations, but one of these variations is as follows. Place the 5 pebbles in the palm of the hand, throw them up in the air, spread the fingers and catch them on the back of the hand. That sounds hard. Practice by throwing up first 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. It is quite difficult to catch all 5 at once. I guess that's the whole game. Okay. Oh, this one is jacks. Another variation is to place 4 pebbles on the ground, keeping 1 to toss. Throw 1 up in the air, picking up 1 of the others with the same hand while pebble A is in the air before you catch it again. So we know that as jacks. Play the ball and then this little metal, I don't know, they're shaped like a star, kind of like. I Spy, that's a good car game. Snap. This is another card game. Deal the cards face downwards to each player until all are dealt. No player may look at his cards. player on the left of the dealer turns over the top card of his pile, placing it well in front of him face up. The player on his left plays his top card in a similar manner. Each player around the table does the same until the card is turned up, which matches one already face up. Whoever calls out snap first takes the cards and any others which are lying below them. Alright, that's kind of like war, right? I think with war, you would lay down cards and then I think you had to, I can't remember now, it's been so long. But it reminds me kind of war. Fancy dress outfits. This is how to make a pirate costume. A chef or cook costume. I don't know why they're making costumes in May, but why not? This might have good ideas for Halloween when you don't have very much. You don't want to buy anything. Here's a small navy and white striped apron with black tapes at the waist and neck, white blouse or shirt, blue jeans, clean white table napkin worn on the head and tied behind the neck, and a huge wooden spoon to carry. I don't get the folded napkin on the head. I don't quite get that. Gypsies, blouse, long cotton skirt, petticoats, apron, baby doll, earrings, scarf, shawl. And then clowns with baggy pajamas, smock crepe paper. Alright, that's the end. We're already at June. So that is May. What would you like to do out of all of these things? Let's see. I think I'd try this word game because my family likes word games. And it seems simple and something kind of like Hangman, but a little bit different. Definitely not going to play the nuts and jam tarts. Maybe I'll make some jam tarts. If you know what this maypole cake is about, that uses icing, jelly babies, which I guess are like jelly beans, and wool and knitting needles, let me know. This sounds cute too, this bottle garden. I like that idea. Really, once you find the bottle, you're like 90% there, finding the right shape bottle. And I like the idea of paper houses. And I like the idea of matchbox furniture. That's actually something I would do. I used to just use things I would find. Pieces of balsa wood and beads and buttons. I made a lot of miniature furniture when I was a kid. Doll's house. That's about it, I guess. Next time you're out in the park or somewhere with a lot of daisies or any kind of flowers with a long, sturdy, flexible stem,